We're back. We've got another deck box. This one's a little different. Yeah, this is from Crow Blissful. This, I'm not sure how clear that comes out there, but this is a wooden deck box. Yep, it's made out of real wood. It's not the regular old materials that we're all used to here. When I saw this come up on Vine, I was like, I gotta check this out. Gotta see what the deal is here. Because a lot of these wooden deck boxes, at least the ones I've tested, I think I've done 2 others maybe, they are okay as kind of novelty items, but their actual practical use has always been questionable. Again, I find them usually as items that you would want to just kind of keep at home and maybe use them as kind of like a little bit of a conversation piece, like, oh, hey, look at this wooden deck box, and oh, that's kind of neat, you know, would you ever really use it? No, of course not, because it's not practical. But we're going to take a look at this one, and we're going to see how well this one holds up to some of the other ones, as well as how it holds up to your standard modern-day deck box. So, wow, look at that. Okay, let's pull this out. And again, just for full disclosure, I did get this sent over to me for free in exchange for an honest review. So, put that aside. Okay. At least they did package it up here really. Wow, look at that wood. That looks pretty nice. Let's take this bit of... Wow, those colors look really, really good. Okay, so first impressions... Looks... Wow. Has a bit of a smell to it. Yeah, it smells like wood. So it's very noticeable. It looks pretty nice. It has a bit of a rugged feel to it there, where it looks like it was kind of rubbed around a little bit, but I mean, that's going to happen with wood. Yeah, okay, that's actually really nice looking. It isn't completely sealed altogether, where everything just kind of goes together perfectly. It does have a little bit of wiggle to it. All right, so I'm not too familiar with how this works, so we're just going to kind of wing it. Oh, there we go. Okay, did I open this upside down? I think I may have. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I guess this is the top here. You can see there's a bit of a cut right there. This is the top. So I guess I'm supposed to do it like this. There are magnets. Okay, how many magnets do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total of 16 magnets that hold this thing together. Now, as you'll see there, the magnets are actually pretty small, which they need to be, you know, considering the overall, you know, size of the edges here. So as far as how well they hold on, they do hold the box itself just fine. I do have my reservations about them being able to hold a full deck box, but just like this, they do hold on pretty well. Okay, so yeah, that's the top right there, and then of course you got a little spot there. I wonder if maybe this would be like somewhere where you would put your dice, maybe, just to roll your dice. But this part, from what we saw here earlier, does come out. Now, does this go all the way down? It does. Okay, interesting. So it is 3 pieces, and again, this is your regular bottom part here. It's definitely wood. Okay, and it looks like it's been stained. It looks like we got a little bit of some markings right there. Can you see that in there? It comes out on camera. Got some markings right here on the edge. It looks like when they were staining this, they didn't get all the way on the inside, because it does feel like here it's all nice and smooth, and even here on the edges and right here at the top it feels smooth, but then you get down here and you can definitely feel the grain of the wood there. Okay, so it didn't stain it all the way. Still seems okay, though. Put you aside. And I guess this is where we're going to be keeping our cards. Now, this does have a little bit of weight to it. Not a lot, though. We will be weighing this, so in case anybody's wondering about how heavy this thing is. Because this is a very light sort of wood. I don't even know exactly... It doesn't say exactly what it's made out of. If I can find out what type of wood is used, I will put that as a little note here in the video for you all. But again, I'm seeing a similar thing here that you see on the inside of this box, how you'll notice the colors are a little bit different because they weren't able to get all the way inside and stain the bottom. And so you do have a little bit of that going. And again, another issue I'm feeling is it does feel rougher. Because again, this feels all nice and smooth. The tops of this feel nice and smooth from where it was stained, but then the further I reach my fingers in here, it does start to get kind of rough, which is a little concerning. Because, not that most people would who would actually go and purchase a deck box like this. I don't believe most people would go and stick loose cards in something like this. But if for any reason they did, I feel like this grain has a little bit of gruffness, I guess, to it. It's not smooth, so there is a chance that it will start to dig into the edges of your cards. And even if you did use sleeves, I also feared that it would start kind of eating away at the edges of the sleeves, too. So that's questionable at best, yeah. Huh. Okay. Check on the outside here. Looks like a gob of glue or something right there. Yeah, there it is. You can kind of see it there. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, I guess we're going to start putting some cards in this. Yeah, let's start putting some cards in it. I guess that looks like it would fit at least 100, I would hope. What do you think here? Would that fit 100? It's hard to say. In fact, I'm going to break out my deck box here. Let me grab my micrometer. And I'm going to start measuring this here. All right, so we're going to use millimeters. All right, so we're going to measure how wide this is inside. All right, there we go. That is 67.3 by 67.6. Yeah, it's one side is barely bigger than the other. In fact, the more I look at this, I wonder. Let me check something here. I gotta measure this. All right, so 67.3. Right over here. 67.5. That's what I was seeing here, is that one side appears to be ever so slightly bigger. This side, just from eyeballing it, looks ever so slightly bigger than this bottom. Huh. And of course the measurements actually did, prove that. So yeah, it's ever so slightly off. I didn't expect it to be perfect. But yeah, okay, just something I noticed. All right, let's grab some cards. And let's see, I'm just going to grab a little stack here from my 100. Let's see, would this fit in here? Yep, it does fit in there just fine. Let's start filling this up. Again, these are standard size cards, Magic the Gathering, single-sleeved. From seeing how tight this is, I can tell you right now, you're not going to be able to put double-sleeved cards in this. Absolutely not. Double-sleeved cards will not work in this. It's going to be way too small. Okay, so, wow, look at how tight that is. It's a very tight fit as far as how wide it is there. You do have a little bit of extra room. Let me grab my other deck. Okay, let's pull out, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 more cards. This should fit in here, extra 15. Wow, okay, now, these particular sleeves that I'm using here on this deck are ever so slightly wider than these, and I can already tell because it's a little tighter fit trying to get them in there. Okay, it does fit, so we got an extra 15, so that's 115. Can we do 120? That's getting pretty tight there. This is a very tight fit. This is almost uncomfortable. Let me pull a card out here. Okay, that's still uncomfortable. Pull another one. Okay, so that's 118 cards. I know it's from me bending it like this, it looks like there's more room. I wouldn't go any further than that, though, because at that point you're going to start forcing cards in here, which I can probably sort of force it. But it feels a little, it feels a little uncomfortable. That's 119. We do 120. Okay, I'm having to really shove it in there now. I'm having to really put a lot of pressure. So technically it does fit 120. I wouldn't go to 120 though, simply because it just felt really uncomfortable trying to force that many cards in there. So let me pull these out. All right, come on, get out of there, Gina. There you are. All right, so it does fit the 100 just fine, and it fits up to 120, but there's a little asterisk there. I wouldn't go any higher than 115 if I'm being honest, but you know, hey. All right, so I guess we can slide this back in here. It kind of makes you wonder why you would want to take that out anyway. I mean, I guess technically, does this fit in both ways? It does. Okay. I guess technically, if you really wanted to, you could just take this out completely and put the cards in here. Although it looks like there would be a lot of room. Yeah, look at how much extra room you have there on the side. So I guess if you absolutely wanted to, you could put double sleeves in here, but they also stick out from the top there. So yeah, you're kind of playing with fire a little bit there. Here, at least, let me put these back in here. Come on, slide in. There we are. All right. At least here, you can see that it's actually kind of mesh. You know, it doesn't stick out from the top. It fits in there pretty flush. So yeah, there's maybe like a half a millimeter of room between the top of the cards and the edge of the wood there. So you don't have to worry about that. They do stick out a little bit here when you've got your little notches. That's normal. But through here, they're going to stick out a bit, and I just don't feel comfortable telling you all to do that. So we're going to put this back in. That's the way it should go right here, just like that. And then, of course, you got your top. So I guess now we're going to be testing these magnets, because, again, this is standard 100-card Commander deck. All right, can these magnets actually lift it up? It can. That's actually good. What if I give it a little shake? It's very light shaking, so it's holding up there, and it did eventually come loose. Okay. I'm actually kind of impressed that it was able to hold the 100 cards. That's actually pretty good. Now, of course, if you turn it a little bit like this and put pressure on one side of the magnets over the other, it does feel like it's going to come a little loose. I'm actually kind of putting my hand here just in case it does go flying. But, I mean, it actually holds up pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, you probably wouldn't do this with the box anyway. You'd probably hold the box like this or, you know, just like that or something. So the magnets work reasonably well considering the application. I would say it's okay. And wow, look at that thing slide. It is pretty nice. Another thing I noticed is there's no branding on it or anything. It's just a wood box. It's just a wood box. Looks pretty good too. I mean, it's nice and stained. Again, my main concerns with this whole situation here is going to be the interior. It's going to be, well, first off, this wood, it's stained. It's going to eventually, over time, rub up against the kind of rougher parts right here in the bottom, which if you're continuously taking it out over and over and over again, over time, I mean, it's wood. It's going to wear. So over time, you're going to probably start seeing, you know, lighter spots right here on the box itself. That's kind of to be expected with a deck box like this, though. So I wouldn't necessarily count off for that. My main concern, though, is going to be for your sleeves. Because over time, again, because these insides are a little rougher, they will start to eat away at the edge of your sleeves a little bit. So just be aware of that if this is a product that you think you may want to try. So, what do I think about this deck box? I still see it more as a novelty item. Simply because its practical use is actually slightly better than some of the other wooden boxes that I've seen or that I've reviewed. Like I said, I do believe I have at least one other video on the channel of a wooden box, which was very nice looking. It was pretty, but it just, to me, didn't feel all that practical. At least just from what I can remember reviewing it, it just didn't feel like something I would use, you know. This Ultra Pro box is super basic. It's basically just a big hunk of plastic, but it has very practical uses. It holds your cards in. It's reasonably flexible, so if you just kind of toss it into like a backpack or something, it's going to be fine. Same thing with something like this. This, you know, can put up with some mistreatment and it'd be all right. The wood, on the other hand, if you mistreat this, if you bump it or if you drop it on the ground or something, it's gonna start to lose, you know, some of its rigidity and some of its beauty. So it looks very nice, but it looks like one of those things that, again, to me, just isn't really that practical, unless you're kind of a stickler for really taking care of your stuff, which I'm kind of like that too. Whenever I get particular items like this that are obviously a little bit more expensive, I tend to take a little extra care with how I handle them. It's not going to be like just, oh, it's just a deck box and just kind of throw it away. This one, well, not throw it away, but just toss it. You know what I mean? This one I obviously would not toss. When I'm handling it, I would not just go and fling it on the bed or whatever. No, I'd actually go and set it like on a counter or something, you know. So again, I would say if you're the kind of person to purchase something like this and pay the extra money, because I can tell you right now, this is not a $10 box. I think the last time I checked it, this was, I believe, $30. Don't take my word on that, because these prices, again, do change a lot. But yeah, this is, I believe, at least a $30 box. You'd have to check the affiliate link that I'm going to be putting in the description there. Again, full disclosure, I get a kickback anytime y'all use those links, so just letting y'all know. But yeah, this is not going to be a cheap deck box. It's going to be more expensive. It is, to me, more of a novelty. But if you're the kind of person that likes kind of showing off a little bit, saying, hey, check out this deck box I got, this will probably get you a little attention. Somebody will notice it. They may not necessarily ask you about it, but they will take notice, because this thing, compared to a regular deck box, obviously the size difference itself, huge difference there. Again, compared to like the old school Ultra Pros, huge difference. Look at how big this thing is compared to Ultra Pro. But yeah, interesting deck box here. I would say if you buy this and you're okay with spending the extra money on it, it's actually not terrible. It's not. It's very pretty. I would probably keep something like this at home. I would not be traveling around with it very much, but yeah, it's a decent little deck box. Again, this is from Crow Blissful. That's the brand name. But yeah, Crow Blissful is the name of the brand. If y'all want to check that out, affiliate link is down in the description. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the video, all that other good YouTuber stuff, and we will see you next time.